Hello again everyone, and welcome back to Victoria 3. My name is Derail, and today we're going to be playing as the Ottoman Empire, a nation that faces a lot of trouble at the beginning of the game. The Ottomans have a lot of issues, a lot of debuffs, and a lot of things that we need to do in order to resolve those issues, so let's get into it. So starting off here as the Ottoman Empire, we do have some pretty important problems in our nation. We have the Sick Man of Europe, which is a pretty terrible set of debuffs, and in order to get rid of them, we need to actually do these Tanzimats here. A couple of them are very easy to do. Suppress separatism is super easy. Reclaim Syria is easy. You just have to beat Egypt in a war and take over the land that's over here. And it's actually easier than it ever has been before because they are unrecognized, and colonization gives you minus 10% infamy generation against unrecognized powers. And then on top of that, you get a third one in the form of reclaiming Egypt itself. And your last one is army modernization, which we can do by just doing the Napoleonic warfare part of the tree here, and then general staff when we get down to it. In terms of our economy, it's also not very great. We have about a 9 million GDP. That makes us number 10. And generally, the whole economy is not too amazing. We're going to build some coal mines for now, but in reality, I don't think we're going to be, blowing up in terms of our economy anytime soon. For our politics, things aren't great either. We still have local governors, we have the slave trade, we have serfdom, we have a pretty bad system overall. I think we're going to try to move to landed voting. This is very easy to do at the beginning of the game because the overall local governors here, the Southern Planters equivalent, don't actually care about that whatsoever. So we're going to go into that, and we're going to bolster the intelligentsia. Another pretty important thing to note is that we do have our own power block. It is a sovereign empire, and that is really, really nice because you're able to subjugate anyone who's not your subject and is part of your, power block. So if we take Serbia here, they're defiant, so they are our subject. I'm trying to think about anybody who isn't our subject and is in our little sphere of influence. Maybe Tunisia? No, Tunisia is not. Can evangelize them, though, which is pretty interesting. Regardless, you are able to do so as a sovereign empire, which is really nice. I think we're also going to start off here by going immediately in on Persia and making them a protectorate. This just seems like the logical course of action. We're going to boost our relations with Britain and Russia because we're going to need some allies. And then we could just go right in on the Persians. This is also going to be pretty good because it's going to limit their effectiveness, both Russia and Britain, in the Great Game, if we're able to get this done. Hopefully we are, but let's see how it ends up working out for us. Alright, Russia has sided with Persia, but that's not the end of the world at the beginning because we can get Britain on our side with a ban slavery war goal that is perfectly fine with me. As a matter of fact, since we are able to do that, I do want Russian war reps, and I could probably immediately go in on Russia here, and we probably want to add a few more locations in terms of our interests. I keep on forgetting about interests. They're such an important part of the game, but I forget about them more often than I reasonably should. In terms of other things we want to do, maybe liberate a country. I think liberating, let's see if we can get Ukraine would be great. And then humiliate them. We don't have enough maneuvers. That is totally fine. We have 15 more. And we should have a decent time winning this, all things considered. The army itself is not too bad at game start. It's not the greatest situation in the world to be in, but whatever, we'll take it if we can. And hopefully we get a pretty good set of battles here. It looks like we're winning against Persia. And we're winning against Russia as well, so this should be more than alright, all things considered. Yeah, the battles are going great. I suppose we could probably increase our military wages to be a little bit better. And, oh yeah, I keep on forgetting about decrees early game as well. These are shockingly important. So let's do that right there, and that as well. I don't really want a reduction in bureaucracy at the moment. Sure, whatever. Ottoman-British Association, we definitely want that. That is more than fine with me. And we can designate that as a strategic objective. See, they only have 22 units up there. And I know my army isn't great, but I feel like if I take this army, I might have a chance up here. At the very least, it'll draw, some units off of the front line, which could potentially be really good for me. But we're approaching the capital of Persia very rapidly, so I am completely fine with this situation. I do not want to fall into too much debt, though. That would be not very good. I'm not going to lie. I'll do something like that for now. And we are winning against Russia, which is great. Yeah, we've taken everything we need from Persia. Very, very cool. Looks like we did not end up winning that battle, which I did not expect to. Very, very unlucky there. We can try again, why not? Just keep them off of us for the time being. And I do want to satisfy these Sunni radicals, even if that temporarily gets me up to infamous. I am okay with that. We're not really going to be going to war for anything too crazy anytime soon. The battle against Persia, or not Persia, Egypt is going to not be super damaging, all things considered. And there we go. We've banned slavery there, and we got them as our own little puppet. Very, very nice. Let's improve relations with them for the time being. And very quickly, we should be approaching the capital of Russia. Alrighty. We got the Napoleonic warfare section of our tree done. Probably want to go for colonization next, and then romanticism. Is there anything we could do with our starting buildings to make things a little bit better for us? Tools are fine. Yeah, it seems like it's about it. I don't imagine anything else here is too useful. Although I do want to build a couple universities in my states, as that would be very, very nice. Honestly, 5% of pops becoming radical does not seem too bad. It's only an extra 300,000, which, like, sounds not great, I understand, but at the same time, there are so many worse situations you could have than a few 100,000 more people becoming radical, especially in this early game when the situation isn't too great to begin with. You actually end up kicking out the local governors from government, which is really, really nice. Wondering if we can do anything with that. But I don't want to radicalize them too much because I don't want to end up, you know, completely ruining their game. Or game ruining myself, actually. This might be the play, going freedom of conscience. That might not be too bad. I think the biggest thing I've noticed in 1.7 is just how much more aggressive the AI is. There are a couple bugs right now in which the AI is just too aggressive, which, not the greatest thing in the world, but at the same time, there's nothing else we can reasonably do at the minute. The AI wants to be aggressive. That's just how it is. Giving Britain rights to do stuff in our nation is really good. And I'll put troops up over here. We are very much winning this war with Russia, though, which is super, super nice. Just doing something to kneecap them early in the game is just incredible. We just need to take Ingria. We are so close, man. It's literally visible on the horizon. The army is like 100 kilometers away, not even. It's so silly how you can just create this straight line going directly to their capital and just like plug walk all over Ukraine, the Baltics, like everywhere where Poland is as well. It's very silly the way this game operates sometimes in terms of front line, but I actually kind of like it. I'm not even going to lie. I think it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Also, there we go. We've liberated Ukraine. Very, very cool. Looks like they'll be more inclined to join the Russian bloc, but for now I'm okay with that. I'm not going to lie. Improving relations. And eventually we should be able to invite somebody like Oman. Even some of the states over here might be more inclined to join our power block, especially as we lose more of our negative reputation. But yeah, we're making 20k, which is not bad at all. I think I can probably upgrade these to better construction sectors, and then we'll go for tools, because we do need more of those. We should easily win this war against Oman over here, which is going to be fine for us. I don't mind Persia taking land as much as they want to. They are a great, unrecognized regional power, so I'm very much okay with this. Let's see if I can land in Oman. Yeah, we should be able to get this done very, very soon in terms of enacting this law, which we very much need. Economy is not doing the greatest in the world. I'm not the happiest about it, but what else can we reasonably do at the moment? All things considered, we're doing about as good as we can. And we should be landing, which is good. Yeah, there we go. We took Oman. There we go. Persia has now expanded. Is Egypt? Yes, Egypt is ready to be targeted. I want to not conquer state. I want to return state. I don't think any nation should join, all things considered. Lebanon, Syria. That will slightly push us over into infamous territory, but I don't think that will be the end of the world. And a matter of fact, I probably should have waited because that would have been a 10% reduction in the amount of infamy I've taken, but it's okay. That is fine. There we go. We got freedom of conscience. That's very nice as well. Is there anything else we can do? We're on mercantilism. I would love to go tenant farmers, but I'm just unable to do so at the minute. I could probably go legacy here. That might not be a bad idea. We want to reassert our authority in Syria. That'll give us bigger relations bumps. I forget that we get that little event, so things should be totally fine. Yeah, we're friendly now with Britain. And we're only hostile with Russia, and I imagine Russia was kneecapped too recently to want to join another war against us. So I think we're doing all right. We are negative in terms of authority, so I might want to, I don't know, maybe pause our construction for the time being, just to make things a little bit better for us. I don't think we're ready to really go, well, we can go army reserves, that's not bad, and then maybe, actually we'll go contingent first, then army reserves. I do want to check out here, in terms of our goods, I want to, well, not our goods, is it under trade routes? It is. Do want to do the things here that make us the most money for the time being. I know this is somewhat short-sighted, but we are bleeding cash a little bit, and just getting any amount of it would be significantly beneficial for the playthrough. So that should ease our pain a little bit, but the problem really is that I don't want to build up so much interest to where we're just truly struggling. Like the goods for military buildings is rough, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we will lose a couple battles there, but we're up 96 on the other side. I can actually swap around one of the units. I guess we have to acquiesce there. Sure, and sure. On a defensive pact with Britain, we can absolutely do that. Ottoman British Association is doing very, very nicely. I'm happy about that. And we're positive in terms of money, so that's good at least. Once again, playing this nation is not the greatest in terms of your overall GDP. Things are rough at game start, but what can we reasonably do, you know? Also, this is not good that they're just completely dominating us here. If we can just BM this army very, very quickly, it'd be nice. Kandahar is going to war, it looks like. Very interesting. Not too much of our concern, but regardless. It looks like we're not really making any progress at all on the sick man of Europe here, but in reality, suppressed separatism is going fairly well. We're going for reclaim Syria right now, and army modernization is moving along, which is super, super nice. And we're pushing into the Sinai right now, which is great stuff. Let's go for, I guess we can go for currency standards. Might give us per capita taxation, which would be really nice. And we can probably kick on government construction. We will be negative, but not by enough of a margin for me to be really worried about it. And there we go. We actually gained all of this land here. Super nice. Let's incorporate the vast majority of it. Should be done in about 5 years. Very cool. And that kind of destroys the ability for Egypt to fight against us. I will say I love the political lobby system. You are able to just make the vast majority of your interest groups incredibly happy through this system. And I'm not even doing anything crazy. Like, this is a relatively easy way to just get the vast majority of people in your area to just love you. And it's nuts, the amount of, you know, benefit you gain from that. I'm trying to think about any other nation that I would want in my block, but I mean, I'm like eyeing up a lot of these nations, and I'm kind of like, to the vast majority of them. Nothing really, you know, interests me a crazy amount. Getting Persia in is great. I think for now we just chill, and we try to, I don't know, maybe we can get, like, Oman in, if we benefit, or improve relations with them. But other than that, I don't really see us, you know, getting any major countries in at all. I will say the economy is starting to tick up a little bit. I know it was closer to 10 mil at a game start, but I don't know, the situation was not really super prudent from me. which happens sometimes. Man, just so many events to boost the momentum of the Conservative Party. That is not good. I do not want them to win. Oh well. We're trying our best here. I know this isn't the most optimal playthrough in the world. I myself, I don't play super optimally. I understand that. But I do try to learn at least something or other every time I do a playthrough, and I feel like I'm slowly learning the mechanics in 1.7 and trying to do things a little bit better than I did previously every time I play. And so far, I think the playthroughs themselves haven't been too bad. I know my America game was alright, although it was plagued with some issues due to the bug that started in the latest patch, in which case, you know, that sort of stuff sometimes happens, which sucks, but what can you really do? What are we at here in terms of general staff? 4 years to research. That's not that bad. Alright, we got legacy slavery. Very good. Trying to think about what else we could do here. Eventually we're going to want to get rid of it, but that will come around later. We could probably go appointed bureaucrats. This will just reduce the ability of the aristocrats to be politically powerful, do a lot of good long term, and it doesn't look like it's going to piss off the local governors enough to really just destroy their ability to be happy, which is what we don't want. We don't want them to just be completely miserable. Yeah, we don't want them to have a high radicalism at all. Yeah, it looks like we're going to get a revolution here. That is not good. That is not what I wanted. Well, man, I don't even know what to do at this point. I don't know if I should stick to my guns or just deal with it. We do have a defensive pact with Britain, and I don't doubt that they'll join us. Also, we got League of Liberty over here for America, and we got the the Bloc Brogniart over here. Very interesting. I know that's probably a terrible pronunciation, but we ball. Also, I want to try to get more people into my faction. Thank you very much. Can I very easily subjugate you? No, I need to make sure they're in here for 5 years. That is totally reasonable. Man, I might have to back down from this, because the governors are very angry, and that is not good. Is there anything I can do to quickly make them happier? Doesn't look like it. Man. We do get a new mandate, though. That's cool. External trade. See, external trade, in my opinion, it's kind of alright, but I feel like I might want to go something like, maybe not market unification. Advanced research might not be the worst idea in the world. Or even something like militarized industry or creative legislator. That might not be too bad. I'm trying to think about what would be the best option here, all things considered. What would be vassalization 2? Is this one significantly better? Oh, bonus income transfer. Absolutely, I'm going that. I didn't even realize that was the option there. I didn't realize that was on the table. I just want to show all goods. We do need more artillery pieces, so I will build one of those. Okay, that should... yeah, that got rid of it, because they were no longer, like, truly miserable with us. Our standard of living is very low, though. That is not great. Well, we'll have to deal with that as best we can. Is there anyone we can just lower there? Well, I would lower Tripolitania's. Oh, actually, I can annex them, but nah, I shouldn't actually do that yet. Is there anyone in my power block that I can just bring in as a puppet? Doesn't look like it. I can subjugate, actually, Jabal Shamar. Sure, I'll do that. Why not? Just for free. I do like the ability to do that. It is incredibly strong, that you just have the ability to, when you bring somebody into your power block, just decide, yeah, I'm just gonna subjugate you now, and you're my puppet. Very, very cool. And these nations will soon join. We do want to try to get up to the top 3. We are 6th, though, which is not good at all. I will be the first person to admit it. That is just kind of abysmal. I will not lie. I do want to guarantee Ukraine. That should make them less likely to join Russia's power block. When I previously attempted this, because I did want to give it a shot before, I succeeded, but barely. I had like a terrible economy, which, as you can see, the economy just became terrible because I ran out of government administrations. I should probably build a few more. But Ukraine ended up joining the Russian power bloc incredibly quickly, which I was a little bit worried about. I'm not going to lie. It looks like Prussia is absolutely destroying the Ottomans. Or not Ottomans, the Austrians. I would hope they were not beating us. That would be pretty terrible, honestly. And it looks like the war ended. I wonder what actually transferred over. Was it just faction leadership they wanted? Because it looks like Bavaria's not actually in. Oh, is Bavaria... No, Bavaria's not in the Metternich system, so I don't know what the problem was there. Very interesting. Situation is not too terrible. I don't love that interest is still rising, but there's not much I can do at the minute. I'm really not interested in raising my law once again. I could probably put a tax on opium, but that's about it. Just 10 million is where I'm stuck at in terms of GDP. Not the greatest feeling in the world, but it's what we have to deal with for the time being. I wish we could get the industrialists in power, man. It's what you always want. You always want the industrialists to be in power. Local governors are back to neutral. Let's see if there's anything I can do. I wouldn't mind going racial seg. Yeah, that's probably beneficial for me. Yeah. Now we're getting plus 11k every time around, which should reduce my interest over time, which will be very beneficial once again. It's about 1846 now. We're not ready to attack, which is kind of sad, but whatever. Man, I do not want to benefit the Conservative Party. It's terrible. Look how much, like, you know, clout they have. 60%. Just a huge amount from the buffs, from the nation itself, from serfdom. It's huge. It's absolutely crazy. They are just a one-party state that we are keeping out of government as good as possible. Also, we got something right here. A reduction in the Patriotic Party, man. We can't win. And this is like with a, you know, a suppression on them. It's crazy how strong they are at the moment. We're at plus 20k. That's pretty good. It's not too bad, all things considered. At least if we don't jump into a war, we'll be totally fine. We can survey the Suez. I'm not interested in doing that because we're going to own the Suez soon enough. With it being 1847, I've forgotten, but we can go in on Egypt now. And hopefully the situation will not be too terrible. We can hope. We're up to 30 in terms of our infamy. Not the greatest in the world, but it's what we have to do. And I do want the war reparations. Transferring Hejaz, kind of a whatever thing to me. Liberating them also kind of... Actually, liberating them might not be bad because I feel like we can easily get them in our power block. And then we'll just bring our armies in and see what happens. Hopefully that'll work out just fine. Yeah, we'll see. Well, we are winning the battle, so that's good. We need to become a great power again. We'll bump that up. That should be fine. We've gotten some good reductions in the local governor's clout, so they're down to about 46%. Very nice. Ooh, yeah, I don't like that. I should have made them leave the Ottoman French Association. I completely forgot we were kind of bullying the French, but it's whatever. We can actually start building stuff pretty consistently now. Our economy is in a much more stable position. Even at war with the Egyptians, things are pretty okay. So I am very happy about that. Mara left. Mara. That makes total sense. They are not happy with us. Should win this war, though, very quickly. There we go. We got everything we needed. There's another Tanzimat done. And we can integrate these states. Very cool. Big boost to our total everything, really. It's just a big boost to our economy as a whole. We'll probably get rid of some of the construction sectors, and then boom, now we're up to a $14 million or pound economy. And with racial seg passing soon, I think we'll be all right. And Britain is actually building in our country. Another good thing happening. I would love to get agrarianism. I just don't feel like it'll pass, but we can try it. Let's try it. Because they're not angry enough to really be, angry. So hopefully we're going to be able to get it to pass, but I imagine they're just going to create a political movement against it, and then it's going to be cooked afterwards. So we're getting close to the time we want to go for general staff. It'll be about 3 years. I want to see if that'll fall to 2 years anytime soon. Doesn't look like it. That is fine, though, I suppose. Matter of fact, since this will take 24 months, I might as well go for general staff. Okay, it looks like Persia's going to war. I feel like we can probably beat Russia. So I'm going to stay on the side of Kabul there. I believe we actually can. Is there any reason why? Because I don't know. 233, we have an army of 186, and these guys have an army of 50. And Kabul has an army of another 37 plus 25. I feel like that's about even. So I don't know. Maybe we'll be okay with that. I'm only really saying that because Ukraine's not at, in the faction with Russia. I imagine they're not anyway. Doesn't look like they joined. So I don't know. They might not be a bad opportunity there to, swoop in and just bother the Russians a bit. But if I did join, I don't know what I would take, and I don't really want to unless I know I could win. And I don't think that that is the case, especially since we're getting so close to getting, Sick Man of Europe done. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see on that. This is starting to become a big war goal, though. They do want multiple states. I might have to join just to try it out. Yeah, I might just join just to see what ends up happening. Even if we lose, I feel like it was worth it because I don't know if Russia's going to be able to cope, really. If we send our whole army over. I mean, don't get me wrong, they do have a larger army than us, but at the same time, I don't really feel like they can very easily stop it. Like, yes, they do have the benefits for the time being, but we'll see. Because it's at minus 11 right now. That's without the 53 from here. Matter of fact, what I'll do right now is I'll put these guys all on defend front. I love using this strategy because it is not too bad, all things considered, if you just put everything on defend front. You can get quite a bit of defense. Also, looks like enact National Guard has become a thing. I don't know why they're super angry. What part are they? They are part of the Ottoman British Association. Is there anything I can do with Britain to make them happy? Join their power block. That wouldn't really do much, though. Yeah, I don't know. They're just going to have to be unhappy, I suppose. Reform land code. Yeah, we'll go for a reform land code. Sure. I don't like how unhappy, though, a lot of the states are in the Empire. It's not great. I guess my goal is really to hold off the Russians as long as humanly possible. Yeah, not great that they are very unhappy with us. Could probably buff the wages. As a matter of fact, if I increase the wages all the way, they're down to minus 10. So that might not be too bad. Bahrain left. That's not good. Yeah, we're at minus 60. This was not the play, I believe. Not the play I fear. Yeah, our army is getting absolutely cooked. And they want to preserve traditionalism now. Man, that is not good. Not a good situation, all things considered. Suppose we just capitulate. Nothing else we can reasonably do. Persia did lose quite a lot there. That is not a great situation. I do admit I don't think there was any way we could have won that. But once again, not much you could do in that type of situation. I will keep agrarianism going because I do feel like we can absolutely win there. But regardless, you know, we messed around, we found out. It happens. Worst case scenario, if the Civil War ends up happening, we can, you know, call in our best buddy Britain due to our defensive pact. I'm very not happy with how that went. Losing an important state like that is kind of sucky, but just one of those things that, you know, when you're playing this game, sometimes stuff you don't expect will end up happening. And that's just, you know, one of those cases where I didn't really expect something like that to occur. And, you know, got kind of killed for it. Looks like there's a Persian uprising there. That's good. Looks like it's against Kandahar. That's very silly. I think they'll likely win. That'll be good. Sorry about that, Persia. Causing you to lose your own, you know, some of your states. Very unlucky there. Invite 3 countries. Hejaz as well. That's good. Oman is less likely. Oh, Kathiri actually. Kathiri? Yeah, that's pronounced. They actually said no. Interesting. Well, Oman say yes. No, with 35% chance. Man. I didn't expect it, but it would have been nice if it did happen. I'm trying to think about anyone else that can get involved. Well, we're pretty close to General Staff. That's about 8 months left until we get rid of Sick Man of Europe, which is going to be very, very nice, I will say. And then we get another principal actually here, which is super cool. I'm trying to think about what I want to go with here. 10% agriculture throughput might actually be really good here. I'm not going to lie. Just beneficial altogether. At least our economy is finally starting to grow, at least somewhat consistently. It's very hard when you're, you know, with this sort of governmental setup. You have traditionalism, you don't have agrarianism. I mean, now I feel like if we went for agrarianism, we could very much get it to pass. We'll have to wait another 6 months, but we'll definitely be able to. And there we go. We can go here, do general training. That gets us Sick Man of Europe done. Tanzimat the reorganization. We can get reconquer the Balkans, or we can get military research speed. Let's just get the claims. And that is that done. So we have gotten rid of the debuffs there. And it's now return states for a lot of the land here in the Balkans, which is very, very cool. I think that this was a pretty decent playthrough to begin with. I know I didn't play the best, but at the same time, I feel pretty happy for it being my second run so far. You know, we got Persia in. Persia actually retook their land, which I'm at least happy about. That's going to be beneficial. The economy as a whole is not the greatest. I feel like other people could have gotten way above 15 mil, maybe 20, 30 mil even as possible, but I don't know. We're in a decent position at this point to get private schools. After we get private schools, this will start rising. With literacy rising, eventually we'll be able to get off traditionalism onto agrarianism, maybe interventionism. From there, you're going to be able to build up your economy way more, get off of land base, go to per capita. Then you can get off serfdom, which is going to be another nightmare. You can probably fight a revolution against the local governors. I mean, I was too scared to do it in this playthrough because I didn't want to do anything to mess up the strat, but generally I was just trying to show that it is fairly reasonable to do. In terms of the Sick Man of Europe. It's not too bad. Even if you're someone who plays fairly passively, you can very much get it done. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.